Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Rockwood number 570-619. This is a dustproof strike is what it is. Let's remove it from the packaging here and take a closer look at it. So the 570 is representative of the fact that this is a dustproof strike, and the 619 is representative of the fact that this is in the satin nickel finish. And this 570 is a all-in-one type dustproof strike solution, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment. We've got some dimensional properties to go over. Dimensional property diagram is included and is linked to down below this video, and we'll go over that in a moment. And you've got a hardware package that's here. Okay, let's start with a visual and dimensional tour of the 570. They've got the faceplate, and let's click on the link to the document called template. And that is indeed the document that's... No, it's actually different. This is far older than the current one that's uploaded. We'll go with the obviously the most current document. Dimensional properties, let's go over that now. Overall width of the faceplate, 2 7/8, that's indeed correct. 1 3/8 on the width, indeed. Center to center of the screw holes, they have that at 2 1/4. We can gauge that there on the camera a bit. You've got an overall height of about 2 3/16, I would say. Indeed. Okay. Also gives outline for installation instructions. Now, all in one, what that means is this model can be installed into a floor or into a threshold. Now, if you're going to install it into the floor, you're going to leave this you're going to leave the body threaded down to the faceplate, just like it is. Okay. You're going to install it just like you've got it here. You've got a couple of small lead anchors that are there with machine screws. I'll go with 832 on that. And the lead anchors are really great. And that's one reason I like much of the Rockwood line, because the fasteners you get are complete. Everything you need to do the installation, regardless of what you're going to be faced with. It's unlikely you're going to have to take a trip to the hardware store when you buy stuff from Rockwood. So a couple of machine screws, lead anchors if you're going to use that. A couple of plastic anchors are in there, and then a couple of oval head wood screws as well. Now you're also going to see this tool. It's like a spanner wrench. And then you're going to see this square nut. Let's get down to it here. So, installing it into a floor, install it just like you have shown here. But if you're going to install it into a threshold, you're not going to install it like this. What you'll do is you'll remove this from the remove the body of the unit from the plate. You will drill a hole into your threshold, install this literally to the threshold itself. Got your little tool here for those 2 holes that you see to do your final tightening down onto the threshold. Now you've got a really nice, sleek installation. Okay. Back to the dimensional properties. A very common question I get is, how large is the size of the hole? They say that it's 3/4 inch, and let's test that, because a lot of people, quite frankly, want to put something into these that generally is not going to fit, like a deadbolt. And according to the caliper, 0.749, so yeah, that's right on. 3/4 inch ID. So a deadbolt's not going to fit in there, but any sort of typical flush bolt will. Now, where will you use a dustproof strike? Well, anywhere where you have a flush bolt or something going into the floor, and you want a nice, clean, and attractive surface when the doors are in the open position. Okay. Now, the only thing that this flush bolt this dustproof strike does not do is lock in the closed position, so that if someone was walking over this, the back end of a high heel shoe, because this doesn't lock in place, I suppose that could, I know that it could present a problem with that. So if this is missing something, it would be the ability to lock in place. However, in a quarter century of selling dustproof strikes, I may have heard that story once. So I don't believe it to be a significant problem. However, I'm aware of it, although not aware of all the facts. So I present it in this video. I would prefer if this was a locking style, so that you could quarter turn it and it would lock in place, release it, and then it would operate as a spring-loaded dustproof strike. So why do they call it a dustproof strike? Well, it's a maintenance sort of a moniker that's given. Imagine if you had a strike plate in the floor, it would get filled with dust, dirt, and debris eventually, because it would. And a dustproof strike being spring-loaded works to prevent that, is why you will call it a dustproof strike. Installation: mortise plate into the surface, drill an 1¼ hole, 2 3/16 deep. 1¼ hole, they say. Let's put the caliper on that. 1¼ The caliper says that this is 0.931. So an 1¼ size hole, I wouldn't contest that too very much. Admittedly, it might be a little large, considering the plate's only 1 3/8. You might get away with 1 3/16. That's one reason that it's advantageous, not required at all. But when you have the hardware in your hand, you can compare the dimensional, physical aspect of it to the template and make any adjustments that might better suit your installation. Not that you need to deviate from a template, because they're hardly ever wrong. If I look at 1,000 templates, one of them might be questionable. So lots of sets of eyes are put on templates before they're published. Drill 2 holes for plastic or lead anchors to suit your conditions. Place the anchors in the hole. Grout the strike into the floor, meaning any sort of finishing you need to do, and attach it. That's all there is to it. Obviously available in all of the common finishes: your brasses, your bronze, your chromes, oil rubbed as well. There's also a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure that will show you the 570 dustproof strike, along with the accessory hardware, coordinator, flush bolts, kind of all go together at once. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page, where you can pull up not only all of the Rockwood products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Now, when it comes to trim and auxiliary hardware, I admittedly am very much a fan of Rockwood, and for no other reasons other than the fact that they earn it. Excellent customer service, technical support is at least as good, prompt, reliable, predictable, dependable, shipping lead times, a hallmark of Rockwood, excellent quality fit and finish, superb fit and finish. They have a list of material that they can ship out very quickly. If they can make a miracle happen, they will. Their material is pretty predictably shipping on those times all the time. So some things that are 2 weeks, they're 2 weeks. They're hardly ever long, and they're rarely shipping any faster. But the point is that they're predictable. That short lead time list, they get it out in 3 weeks. The highly customized material, leather wrapped poles, things of that nature, 3 weeks, something in that range for sure, maybe a little longer. But that's primarily because they need to source that out to a third party, so they lose a little bit of control. But all of those reasons together really conspire to give you a tremendous trim and auxiliary manufacturer. Any questions on the 570 or any other Rockwood product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.